YouTube. Let's see. Let me get situated here. Oh gosh. Okay. Alright. I haven't made a video in a long time, a hot minute, because, well, number one, I don't feel like I ever have anything to talk about because my life's boring and I stay home all the time. But two, my house is always a wreck, so by the time I get it clean, my battery's dead and I'm out of time. But anyways, here I am with my first pregnancy update. I'm pregnant. I am with child. Hallelujah. So excited. So I just wanted to start that. So I'm pregnant and I am, let's see, what's today? Wednesday? 6 weeks and 3 days. So I'm definitely not going to be posting this video until we actually make our official announcement. So right now only a few family and friends know, not many people at all. We haven't finished telling our family, so hardly anybody knows. The doctor knows. So I just wanted to kind of catch y'all up on what's been going on with my pregnancy so far, which is not a lot. But so we found out on March 5th of obviously 2019. So I was 2 days late on my period. Sorry if that's TMI, but guess what? That's how that works. This is pregnancy. You know, I got pregnant. But so I was 2 days late on my period, and you know, I was laying in bed that Monday night when I was a day late, and I just knew, like, I'm so terrified of being happy about this because I don't want to, you know, feel let down again. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I just knew I was pregnant. And then the whole next day, I was dying to take my test, and I really wanted to do it when Shane was home, but I had an Arbonne event that night, an hour away of all things, and so, you know, I was going to the bathroom and I was peeing every like 10 minutes to check and see if I'd started my period, and I never did, and I never did, and I never did. So finally at like 2 o'clock I thought, screw it, I'm taking the test. If it's false, then I wasted like $5. Who cares? So I took the test and it said I was pregnant. And of course I was so happy. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even call Shane. I was crying, and I was trying to actually put on makeup at that time. So that was a really horrible time to find out you're pregnant when you're trying to put on makeup, because I was crying and I was like, oh my gosh, get it together, because I couldn't even put makeup on. So I called the birth center we're using and let them know. And it's funny, the day before I called to say, hey, we want to come in just for a consultation, get a tour of the place. And she was taking down all my information. And then she finally said, okay, what's your due date? And I was like, oh, well, I'm not actually pregnant yet. And she said, well, you have to be pregnant to do this. Like, you know, otherwise just everybody would come in all the time. So I said, okay, I'll call you back when I'm pregnant. And I called her the next day and I said, hey, do you remember me? I'm pregnant, turns out. So we got that tour scheduled, and I wrote this list. Maybe I'll go get it. But I wrote this list that said, order prenatal vitamins, check. Call Magnolia and set up an appointment, check. Blah, 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 check. Take pregnancy test. And then at the bottom it said, tell Shane he's going to be a daddy again. Congrats, baby, I love you. And so I went and did my event that night and got home at like, gosh, it was late. It was like 10:30 that night. And I was like about to die wanting to tell Shane and just get home. And so when I walked in the door, I had hidden the pregnancy test in that little paper. And so I got that out, and he was eating chicken, and he says I bombarded him, but I tried to make a video, and it didn't turn out great, but it's kind of cute. Maybe I'll link it in here. But I gave him that and the pregnancy test, and he was shocked, and we cried together for a little bit. I mean, not cried, but like we were, you know, we had our moment, and it was really sweet. So so that was Tuesday, and then on Friday, his mom was just getting back from Germany, and we had my parents over for dinner, and you know, we were kind of just hanging out, casually talking, and then I started bringing up everyone that was pregnant this year, because we have let's see. One of my best friends just had her baby. After I'd already found out I was pregnant. And my other best friend is having her baby in June. We've got two other cousins that are pregnant this year. So we have a ton of people. So I was just listing them all off. And then I kind of casually slipped it in, like, and I'll be finishing out the year in November. And my mom and dad didn't catch it at all. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're not happy. Why wouldn't they be happy? That was my like immediate reaction because they didn't say anything. And then, of course, Shane's mom heard it, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're pregnant!" And we were like, "Yeah." And then my parents realized, like, "Oh wait, we missed something," and they, it took them a minute to catch on, but it was really cool. So that's how we told them. So we've already told Grayson. I mean, he's 2.5, so he doesn't really understand, but he knows there's a baby in my belly, but he just doesn't really get it yet. He just watched my brother and sister-in-law go through a pregnancy, and now my nephew's like 6 months old, so he's gotten to watch my sister-in-law be pregnant and her baby come out and start to grow up, and so I think that's really good for him to be exposed to another baby like that before ours gets here. So we took the tour at Magnolia. This is a place in Greensboro. It just opened, I think, in 2017, so it's really not that old. But they've had almost 100 births there, and two of my friends have given birth there, and they said it was just the most amazing experience. So when we took the tour, um, Shane wasn't fully on board just because he's not really into holistic hippy dippy type stuff. But so I told him we can go home and talk about it, and you can ask questions and all your hesitations. So when we took the tour, like, I was in love. Like, I was like, I'm sold. I can't go to a hospital after this. And I've never really considered a water birth, but now I'm starting to consider it when I started hearing about how amazing it is to at least labor in the water. So we'll see. But it's at the hospital. It's just in a building right outside the hospital, and it's completely safe, and they seem like they're really quick to transfer you to the hospital or to make you go to the hospital if you don't seem like you're going to have a safe labor and delivery there at the center. So that makes me feel good because I'm not trying to just put myself in danger with some crazy thing. Like, they are still very safe, and I'm very, very excited to go. So this upcoming Monday, we have our first appointment, and we're not doing the ultrasound there. We are going to my regular OBGYN. Hopefully, we haven't set that up yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So we have all that coming up. I cannot wait. And one thing that's kind of freaking me out is the fact that I feel so good. Actually, the last couple weeks, like up till this week, I felt really, really tired. And that almost kind of made me feel good because, I want to know that my baby is safe and my baby's healthy. And, if she's growing, I'm going to be tired because my body's working hard to grow her. And yes, I call her a her. I'm like dead set that she's a girl. We will see. Shane said I'm going to be disappointed if it's a boy, and I will be. Like, I'll just be honest right now. I'm going to be disappointed if it's a boy. I want a girl so, so bad. I mean, I will love a boy. Yes, I will. I really want a girl. I really feel like it's a girl. Anyways, woo, squirrel. Um, but I was so exhausted. And this week I feel really, really good. And I think it's because of the fizzies I'm taking, which I'm going to do a whole another video all about the supplements I'm taking and what I'm incorporating in to have a fit and healthy pregnancy. So we'll go over all that in another video. But, yeah. So I'm 6 weeks, and that's usually when your morning sickness hits. And I have not had any morning sickness yet, which, knock on wood, I hope I don't, but with my pregnancy with Grayson, I was so freaking sick. Oh my gosh. I was sick in the morning, I was sick at night, like headaches. I got the works. I didn't have that hyper, whatever it's called. I wasn't that sick, but I was pretty dang sick. Um, so part of me, like a small part of me, hopes that I do get sick because that's a sign of a healthy baby, or it can be. So I just want to know my baby's good. Like, I'm dying for my ultrasound. I'm like so ready to see my baby, but it's going to be another couple weeks at least. So, but yeah, my baby's the size of a little lentil. She's about, I think they said a fourth of an inch right now. So, I've got a long way to go. We've been trying to get pregnant for a few months now. Um, I was on the pill, which I was totally against, and I was breastfeeding, so I didn't have my period for almost 3 years. I think I was like a month short of 3 years, which was, a great time. Don't get me wrong. And I had to stay on the pill before we got married um, because of insurance reasons, and also, you just don't want to be dealing with pregnancy while you're trying to get married. We got married last November, and finally finished that all up and got it official and everything, and had our ceremony, and so I got to come off the pill right before that, so that the timing would be right. And it took us a few months to get pregnant, and for me that felt forever because I'm very healthy, but I know that God's timing is what I want. I'd rather have His timing than try to do it my way. And also, trying to come off the pill, it's going to take you a few months to get back to normal. Your hormones have to regulate again. So, but I mean, 3 months, that's pretty good. I'm really happy. So, I'm going to continue to do these pregnancy updates. I think they're fun, and I want to be able to look back later on and see what all I went through, because my first pregnancy was such a blur. I was under a really, really high stress situation at work, and I ended up quitting. I think my dog just coughed. I hope, because no one else is here. Anyway, I ended up quitting my job when I was 6 months pregnant because I was so stressed out. I was in a really bad situation where the owner was asking me to do things that weren't good integrity, I guess you would say. So I ended up quitting, and just never really got my energy back after that. I think I had adrenal fatigue, and it was just a miserable pregnancy and a miserable labor and delivery. I hated the hospital. So actually, my aunt works at my OBGYN, so I'm really disappointed I'm not going to be doing all my prenatal visits there. I'm still going to be doing my ultrasounds, but I mean, they treated me like royalty last time, and I loved being in that office. So I'm sad I won't be there, but I cannot go back to that hospital. I did not have a good labor. I was induced, and the cords was wrapped around his neck, and it was really hard to get me going into labor. It took 6 hours just for my water to break and to get me to 1 centimeter, which was nuts. And they were starting to prep me for a C-section when my water broke naturally. And the nurse talked me into doing the narcotics, which I never would have agreed to if I was like in my right mind, but because I was in so much pain and she suggested it, I said yes. And since Shane and I weren't married at the time, he couldn't say anything. He couldn't say no, I don't want that for her. So that really was crazy. So yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you won't miss anything.